Hi lovelies, welcome back. In today's tutorial we're going to be learning how to make this dress. It's actually one of the styles that was picked in our WhatsApp group. So if this is what you love to learn, continue watching. Remember to always like, comment and share. With this, YouTube will recommend my video to a larger audience. To my new subscribers, my name is Lillian. Thank you so much for stopping by. To the old ones, thank you for always holding it down. So registration from our online class on Corset is still ongoing. Just 4 days left to go. Details will be in the comment section. Let's get into the main tutorial. For material, I work with Akara, all right, and then I work with cotton. Either you use cotton or crepe, and then I work with lining, all right. So for pattern drafting, from the top of your paper, come down by at least 2 inches width, all right, and then this is going to be our top line, and this side of it is going to be the front of the pattern, and then the shoulder line as well, and then this is also going to be the back of the pattern. So the next thing I'm going to do is to come down by my chest line. So I'm working with 9 inches. I'm going to mark down 9 inches, just as you can see. I will take it to the back and then rule it out and label it as my chest line. Then from my shoulder line, I'm going to come down by 11 inches as the bust point of the pattern that I am working with, all right. So from the shoulder, I mark down 11 inches as my bust point. I will label that out as well. And then after that, the next thing I'm going to do, from the shoulder line, I will come down by 17 inches. This is it for the front half length of the pattern that I am working with. I'm going to rule this out and then label it as well. And from my waistline or front half length, I'm going to come down by 9 inches. This is the waist to hip length, all right. I'm going to rule this and then label it out as well. Then from the waistline, I'm going to come down by 24 inches. This is my waist to knee length. Then for the full length, I'm working with 43 inches. So from my knee line, I'm going to come down by 43 inches, all right. So this is going to be the total length of the gown that I'm working on, all right. So I'm going to label it as my full length, just as you can see. So after this, we are going to head over to the back, all right. And then for the back, I'm going to mark the back half length. For the pattern I'm working with, the back half length is 15 inches, all right. So I'm going to rule this and then label it out as well, all right. After that, from that point, I'm going to come down by 9 inches as my waist to knee line, to hip line, sorry. I'm going to also rule this and then label it out as well, all right. Then after labeling, I'm going to go ahead and then from my waistline, I'm going to come down by 24 inches, just like we did at the front. This is my waist to knee length. I'm going to rule this and then label it out. Then I will also come down by 43 inches as well, just like I did at the front as my full length. For the neck width, I work with 3.5 inch and then the neck depth 3.5 inch, all right. So 3.5 inch for the neck width, neck depth 3.5 inch. I'll go ahead and create my neckline like so. And then for the shoulder measurement, for the size I'm working with is 8 inches. So your shoulder divide by 2, mark it on your shoulder line and then your chest line. Go ahead to create your shoulder line like so. And then for my shoulder slant, I'm going to work with 1.5 inch. As you can see me do, and then I'll connect it back to my neckline like so. After doing that, I'm going to find the midpoint of what I have left by folding my tape into 2, all right. So whatever or wherever my midpoint is, I'm going to mark it and then go in by 1/2 inch as well. Then I'll connect it back to my shoulder slant. The next step is to mark my round bust circumference divide by 4 on my chest line, and then I'll go ahead to create my armhole. Then on my waistline, I'm going to mark my nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2. All right, and then I'll mark it on my waistline, my bust point, and then from my waistline I'll come down by 5 inches, and then I'll align it by 4 inches. Then go ahead to create my dart line. For my dart intake, I'm going to go out by half inch on both sides. I'll connect it to my bust point, as you can see me do. Then I'll bring it down to the 5 inches length as well. Then on my waistline, I'm going to go in by my waist circumference divided by 4. And then I'm going to do that replacement of 1 inch. And then I'll connect it to my chest line. Then on my hip line, I'm going to mark my hip circumference divided by 4. I'm working with 11.75, sorry. I'm going to mark it. And then I'm going to connect as well. Then I'm going to come over to my knee line. I'm going to mark 8.75. This is going to be my knee length, as you can see, my knee circumference, sorry. And then I'll connect it to from my hip line to my knee length, and then I'm going to slant everything to my full length. All right, from my knee line I slanted everything to my full length. For my side that I'm going to be working with 2 inches, because my front half length is 17 inches while the back half length is 15 inches. So 17 minus 15, I'll be left with 2 inches. So that is what I'm using as my side dart. All right, so move over to the back. For the neck width, I'm going to maintain the same thing as the front, 3.5 inch. Then for neck depth, I'm going to be using 5 inch, and then I will use my ruler to create a V back neckline because that is what I want. Then for my back shoulder, the same thing as the front, 8 inches on my shoulder line and chest line. So I'm going to create my shoulder line like so. Then come down by 1.5 inch as the front for my shoulder slants. Then I'm going to find the midpoint as well by folding my tape into 2. All right, so whatever the midpoint is, I'm going to go ahead and then mark it out. So I'm going to find the midpoint. I actually made a mistake. I marked down 2 inches instead of 1.5 inch. So I'm going to find the midpoint of what I have left, mark it, then go in by 1/2 inch, connect also back to my shoulder slants. I'm going to go in by my round bust circumference divided by 4 on the chest line, then connect it with my curve ruler to create my armhole. Then on my waistline, I'm going to go in by my nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2. I'm working with 4.5. I'll mark it on the waistline, chest line. Then that back length is 6 inches. I will align it also by the 4.5 inch. Then create my dart line like so. Then for the dart intake, I'm going to work with 1/2 inch, just like I did at the front. I'm going to connect to my chest line, then back to the 6 inches like so. After that, I'm going to mark my round waist circumference divided by 4 on my waistline as well. Then do my dart replacement of 1 inch. Then connect it back to my chest line. We'll then go ahead to mark my round hip circumference divided by 4 on my hip line. I'm going to extend my length to that point, then connect it back to my waistline as well. Then on my knee line, I'm going to mark 8.75 just like I did at the front. Then I'll connect it like so, and then slat everything down also to my full length. Then at the center back, I'll go in by 1/2 inch. I'll connect it to the chest line, bring it down to the hip line. All right, and then I'll come over to the side back, and then I'll replace the 1/2 inch, connect it to the chest line, then bring it down to the hip line as well. From my shoulder, I'm going to come down by 14 inches. So this is the underbust of the size I am working on. All right, I'm going to create my underbust line like so. Then I'll label it as my underbust. Then for underbust contour, I'm using 0.75. I'm going to mark it on both sides and then connect to the bust point, and then bring it also down to the waistline. Then from my underbust, I'm going to connect to my chest line like so with my curve ruler. So it's not curvy enough. I'm just going to give it a little curve. stay the same point, as you can see. All right, so I'm going to come over, do the same thing to the side. Please just watch carefully my ruler placement to the side. So I'm going to also connect to the side like so. Now what I'm going to do, from what I connected to the side, I'm going to bring it down to my waistline with my curve ruler, as you can see me do. Then from my hip line, I'll go up by 2 inches. All right, and then I'll also connect it from there into my waistline like so. All right, so this wasn't really giving me the shape I want, so I'm going to come down by 1 inch and then try to blend it in and see what it will look like. And then at this point, I'm still going to go in a little. All right, I'm still going to go in a little like so. So I'm trying to blend in so that it will give me the shape of the star inspiration. So about 1 inch away from your dart will do. So this is what I have. I'm actually going to stick to the 2 inches away from my hip line instead of the 1 inch. All right, so I'm actually labeling. This is Akara, this is going to be cotton, and then this is going to be Akara. All right, so all we are going to do now is to cut out. Before cutting out, I'm going to add allowance around the neckline and then the armhole. You can see me cutting out from the 2 inches part, so I later settled for the 2 inches away from my hip line. So just go in by 1 inch from your dart and then curve to the side. All right. After cutting out, go ahead and then cut out on your fabric. All right, this is it for the whole piece. Then I already cut out. This is the center front. I added ½ inch as the allowance at the center front, and then at the side I added 1 inch. You can see that I already transferred my dart to the main piece, and then the back piece as well. I already transferred my dart, and then this is it for the center front. I already transferred my dart as well. I added 1 inch as my allowance, and then you can also see my dart. I already transferred it to the main piece and the lining. So I did the same thing with the back. I added 1 inch as my zipper allowance, and then I transferred my dart also to the main piece and the lining. So this is it for this piece. Also, I also transferred my darts, and then you can see I already added half inch allowance around it. All right, so what we are going to do now is to go ahead and then sew off our darts on all the pieces that we have except this. So I will do that and bring it back. This is what I have here. You can see I already joined the whole dart on the center front, as you can see. So this is it also for this. I already joined the back dart as well, and then I ironed out. And then this is it for this. I already joined and then I iron out. I'm using the main piece as the lining for this part of it. All right, and then I already joined as well. Then this is it for the center front. I already joined, as you can see, and then I did the same thing with the back. All right, remember, as I am joining both the main piece, I'm doing the same thing with the lining as well. All right, so what we are going to do now is to set the rest of the piece aside. So bring in the center front, the down part, and then you are going to place this right side facing the right side, pin down, join by ½ inch, and then for the lining part you are also going to repeat the same thing, join by ½ inch and then bring it back. All right, so this is it. I already joined and then I iron out. This is it for the main piece, and this is it for the lining as well. Already join and iron out. So what we are going to do, bring in the lining, you are going to take off 1 inch. All right, reduce the length by 1 inch. So this is how we are going to turn. Someone actually asked me in my previous video how this is going to align, so I'm going to try as much as I can to explain it. Hopefully the person watches this to understand it better. So I'm going to cut off the 1 inch now. Bring in the main piece, and then you are going to place the lining right side facing the right side. All right, make sure you align it. And then when you come over to the down, you notice that we already shortened the lining allowance. Align it at the down, join by ½ inch. So by the time you align at the down, you can actually see that the upper side, that it will no longer align. So that is why you join the down first. Then when you are done joining the down, align it at the top and then also join by ½ inch. All right, align it also at the top and then join by ½ inch. So by the time you pull up at the front, at the upper side, sorry, you notice that the front, the down, the main piece will go up. All right, the main piece will go up with the lining. So that is actually how you turn. So I will go ahead and do that. When you're done joining everything, turn it to the right side and then top stitch. So this is it after doing that. So you can see the main piece already pull up towards the lining part. So I just stitch the top and then I turn it to the right side and then I top stitch it around. So what you are going to do is to set this aside and then bring in the side piece. All right, so make sure you note the waistline, and then what you are going to do is to remove your pattern. So what you are going to do, place it right side facing the right side. You are going to sew it around, then turn it out from the waistline and then iron out. This is it after doing that. As you can see, remember, like I said, note the waistline. So this is it for the upper piece. So you can see that I already marked out ½ inch round. All right, so I'm going to bring in the main piece now. What you're going to do is you are going to place the main piece on the upper piece. Okay, so you are going to pin it around the ½ inch and then you are going to top stitch. You can see what I'm doing. Make sure you align it at the exact that point, then go ahead and then pin down and then top stitch around. Go over to your machine and then just go ahead and stitch it. All right, so I'm going to do just that and then I will bring it back. This is it after doing that. You can see I already stitched around. So the side of it I marked out. This is the inside. All right, so the side of it I marked out ½ inch allowance, just like I did with the upper side. So I'm going to bring in the side piece as well. So remember, I asked us to note the waistline, so do well to align the waistline, and then you are also going to pin round. Remember, you are pinning on the half inch rounds that we marked out, so I will pin around and then also join as well. Go over to your machine and then just go ahead and then stitch it around. So I'll go ahead and do that, and then I'll bring it back. This is it. I already stitched, as you can see. Then this is the wrong side. So what we are going to do now is to bring in the back piece. All right, bring in the back piece. So as you can see, I already sewed off my that as well for the back piece. So just like we did at the front, we are still going to reduce the lining by 1 inch, okay, so that we can easily turn. Bring in the main piece as well. The same way we turn the other parts is how we are going to turn the back as well. So join at the down by 1/2 inch first, then turn it to the waistline and then to stitch it around. All right, so I will do that and then I will bring both pieces back. Welcome back. This is it after turning. As you can see, I already turned and then I iron out as well. All right, what we are going to do now is to bring in the upper piece. So bring in the upper piece. I already sewed off my dart, as you can see, and then I added my interfacing as well. So what we are going to do is to place it right side facing the right side, and then you are going to join by 1/2 inch. Place it right side facing the right side, pin down, and then join by 1/2 inch. So I'll go ahead and do that, and then I'll bring it back. This is it after joining. I also already interfaced the front. All right, so what we are going to do now, bring in the back piece, and then you are going to place it shoulder to shoulder. So you are going to place the back shoulder, the front shoulder in between the back shoulder and the interfacing. So turn it as you can see me do, and then pin down. All right, so after pinning down, you are going to join by 1/2 inch. Do the same thing to the other side, and then also pin down at the side. Next thing you are going to do is to join by 1/2 inch at the shoulder, and then at the side go ahead and join by 1 inch, then fix your zipper. So I will do just that. This is it after joining. As you can see, I already added my zipper, and then this is it for the sleeve. So I iron in 1 inch at the center back, and then I'm going to just stop stitch it to hold it in place. You can actually use hemming gum depending on what works for you. And then this is what we have. I'm going to set it aside and then bring in my sleeve. This is my basic sleeve, and then the length is about 11.5 inch. So I'll go ahead and pin down. After pinning down, go ahead and then create a slanted line, as you can see me do. Then from that point, you are going to go out by 3.5 inch to 4 inches, depending on how wide you want yours to be, and then connect it back like so, and then cut out. All you are going to do now, join the side by 1 inch, then go ahead and then fix it on your dress. So I will do just that and then I'll bring it back. All right, this is it after doing that. This is it after fixing my sleeve. Thank you so much for watching, guys. This is the finished look. I went ahead to use stone and pearls to style the sleeve, and then the part where we'll have the design, as you can see in this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you find this helpful, like, comment and share. Thank you so much. I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.